Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin the services for Mr. Lowell, Sonny, Fixler. If you have a cell phone or any noise-making device, I ask that you either place it in the silent mode or turn it off completely at this time. Officiating today's services is Rabbi Lisa Green from North Shore Congregation, Israel.
The poet Mary Oliver writes, "Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this. The fires and the black river of loss whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes, to let it go. We are here today with deep sadness, profound loss, and incredible gratitude for Sonny's life. We are here to do the most difficult of things, to let him go. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh to lose, a thing for fools this and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing. Death will come, its hand will not be stayed even an instant, nor can we enter into judgment with it. Our question why will go unanswered. But this does not mean that we are helpless in the face of death. We can and we do rob death of ultimate victory by living life as long as it is ours to live. To ask of death that it never come is futile. But it is not futility to pray that when death does come for us, it may take us from a world, one corner of which is a little better because we were there. When we are dead and people weep for us and grieve, let it be because we touched their lives with beauty and simplicity. Let it not be said that life was good to us, but rather that we were good to life. In this time of grief, we listen to the voice of our sacred scriptures. It brings us the ever new message of God's presence, in light as in darkness, in joy as in sorrow, in life as in death. Esa enai el heharim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ayiten lamut raglecha al yanum shomrecha. Hine lo yanum v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. I lift my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your soul, your going and coming, now and forever. As we continue the words of the psalmist with Psalm 90, I invite you to think about Sonny's life, about the ways in which he impacted yours, about the things he did with his hands, what he created in relationships, what he did in work, what he did for leisure, whether it was casting a fishing line or holding a ski pole or giving a hug or so many things. This psalm asks with a plaintive plea, a plaintive cry to God, establish the work of our hands that it may long endure. I invite you to reflect on the work of Sonny's hands in his life, work or play, with kindness as I read the psalm. O God, you have been our refuge in every generation. Before the mountains came into being, before you brought forth the earth and the world, from eternity to eternity you are God. You return us to dust. You decree, return, you mortals, for in your sight 1,000 years are as yesterday when it has passed, as a watch in the night. You engulf us in sleep. We are like grass that renews itself. At daybreak it flourishes anew. At dusk it withers and dries up. The span of our life is 80 years and 10, or given strength 80 years. But the best of those years have trouble and sorrow. They pass us speedily, and we are in darkness. Teach us, therefore, to number our days, that we may attain a heart of wisdom. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Turn to us, O God, show mercy to your servants. Satisfy us at daybreak with your steadfast love, that we may sing for joy all our days. Let your deeds be seen by your servants, your glory by their children. May your favor, O God, be upon us. Establish the work of our hands, that it may long endure. Establish the work of our hands, that it may long endure. We turn to the words of the 23rd Psalm, and if you wish to join with me, please do. They're in your pamphlet. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. An ancient people, we are well acquainted with grief and the valley of shadows. The centuries have taught us that a good name endures beyond the grave, and that there is strength in faith. With Job we say, Adonai Natan, God you've given. You gave us Sonny, who will not be forgotten. For all that was good in his life, we offer the deepest thanks of our hearts. Adonai Lakach, God you've taken away. We pray for strength. And we say, Yehi Shem Adonai Mevarach, blessed be God's name now and forever. We've come to this time and to this place with our thoughts, with our memories, with our prayers. Let's pause for silent prayer and reflection. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. The poet writes of birth, of life as a journey. Writing birth is a beginning and death a destination, but life is a journey, a going, a growing from stage to stage, from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength or strength to weakness and often back again, from health to sickness and back we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion and grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat until, looking backward or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, and life is a journey. We gather this afternoon to recall the journey of Sonny's life. Recall the man who was given the name Lowell Stanley, but as I'm told, his uncle decided when he was still in the crib that he couldn't call a baby Lowell Stanley Fixler and called him Sonny. It isn't very much an American Jewish journey. He was raised the north side of Chicago, growing up with his parents, Samuel and Pauline, his sisters, Harriet and Joni. He went to Senn High School, the University of Illinois, graduated from Northwestern. Then he served our country in the Army in Germany. It's a journey of moving from the city to the suburbs, a journey of working in a family business, owning that business, going to college, raising a family, watching the generations. It's a journey of a fabulous marriage. Meeting Diane before he entered the service, I'm told at Diversey Park, and identifying that he was going to marry her, and coming back after serving and reconnecting. And he did, and they married. And they spent so much time together, even with Diane's independence and strength. He was her protector. And after the awful loss of her death during COVID, when you, her family, were kept from Diane, Sonny never quite came back. The grief was huge for you all. Was there a journey of business, success, working with his father, owning the business when his father died when Sonny was really a young adult, 33, owning the business, selling the business, and doing what he wished to do, being fabulously successful, but not divining his life by it. It was a journey of choices. Sonny retired, but not really. He never stopped. Golf, tennis, travel, more travel, fishing, photography, time on the boat, hunting, being in Colorado, Florida, most importantly with you all, who he loved. It was a journey marked by modesty and generosity, a journey of words. He loved the crossword puzzles and was always reading. A journey of family with Sonny and Diane at the head, bringing together you, their children, your partners, your grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, together here in Colorado, warm weather too. Ken, Michael, Susie, what lessons you learned from your parents' example? How to be a family. Those weeknight dinners, Sunday through Thursday, or the weeknight dinners and then Sunday dinners of takeout, the time together at the table as a family. You knew your father's high standards, his strictness, and you did not want to disappoint. That emotion you could feel in his looks. All of you, Sonny's grandchildren, you have such memories, I'm told. We'll hear from you in a few. And he made your parents and you, I'm told, each of you feel special, even if you joke about it now of who's more special. He made you all feel special. Were Sonny here today, no doubt we would all gravitate toward him, because that's what happened. People gravitated toward him. He might ask, how you feeling? Everything okay? Maybe he'd tell a joke. We are here this afternoon to recall the sacred story of Sonny's life. Each of us is given a number of days and years to fill as we see fit. How we fill that time, what we build and create. Our hopes, our dreams, our passions, these become others' treasured memories after our life is drawn to a close. And so I turn to you, members of Sonny's family, to share the special story of his life. First, we turn to Ken, Michael, and Susie. I don't think you want to sit standing here, so just rotate so you don't know what's hurt.
Thank you so much. First off, I hope you all know how much we appreciate you being here. Our dad was a special man, a man who defined the meaning of integrity and class just by the way he chose to live his life. A man I was so proud to call Dad. He was a friend to so many, an amazing grandfather and a great-grandfather to all our kids, and a strong, positive leader in work and in life. 5 years ago, we lost our mom. It was a devastating loss and one of the first casualties of COVID. Even though we are here to celebrate Dad, I think it's actually a good time to acknowledge our mom. When Mom passed, it was during the height of COVID. Her grandchildren weren't even permitted to attend her funeral. We were unable to honor her then, so I'd like to honor her as we honor our dad today. The loss of our mom in May of 2020 is part of what led to a difficult 5-year journey for Dad. Rather than wallow in his pain, he maintained his sweet and loving disposition. He never complained or felt sorry for himself, and he never lost his contagious smile or that little grin that often followed. Dad was never the same after losing Mom. He felt such a large void without her, the love of his life. I've always felt like my dad was my dad, but simultaneously, he was also my best friend. He was my confidant and a constant support through all my ups and downs. And he always greeted me, "Hi, pal," followed by that sweet smile of his. Some of my fondest memories were when we traveled together, be it joining him on business trips when I was young, fishing, skiing, or golfing together. All were an opportunity to bond, share his own life lessons with me. His greatest lesson, as well as his legacy, is to say what you mean and mean what you say. Treat people with kindness and respect, regardless who they are or where they came from. This always came so naturally to him. Regardless of all the successes Dad had in his lifetime, he never put himself on a pedestal, never bragged, and never looked down on anyone. As a child, if I made him angry, which I often did, Michael did too. Susie, not so much, she was the saint. He'd express his disappointment, discipline us, but then would follow by saying, "It's okay. I did way worse when I was a kid." And I know that to be the truth. Learn from your mistakes and move on. Dad, I'm moving on now, and I will continue to live my life and do my best to make you proud. Love you, buddy.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming today. I kept mine a lot shorter because I'm probably the most emotional one in the family. I want to tell you guys that my father was a great guy. It's really hard to explain just how much I enjoyed spending time with him. He was everything a best friend should be. He was a great listener and someone who always had time for me. All he wanted for me and for everybody else lucky enough to know him was to feel comfortable and to be happy. That was his goal for everybody. He loved people that he was affiliated with, and he was just a happy person, and he wanted everybody else to enjoy life, and he really instilled in me, and it kind of took till recently to realize that you really do have one life, and I'm going to try to live the rest of my life the way he did. Again, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. Great job. Thanks.
Save the favorite for the last. How do you sum up in a minute or two the love and respect you have for the best father in the world? Well, my dad would want me to say it in 10 seconds because he was the most selfless person I have ever known. He has had it hard since Mom passed. She was the love of his life. She made our family whole, and without her, my dad never recovered. But he never complained to us. My dad cared more about our happiness than his own. My dad loved me so much. He told me every time we were together. He made me feel special, the most special. He made me feel safe. He made us all feel like we were the favorite, but I truly was the favorite. He told us how special all our kids are. He loved our spouses. He adored our grandkids. He loved us all so much. He missed my mom so much he couldn't live. But now they are together, and that gives me peace. Thank you all for being here.
And we'll hear from Sonny's grandchildren: Jonathan, Chris, Andy, Seth, Danielle, Joey, Molly, Tony, Jamie, and Ross. I believe Jonathan is the spokesperson for everybody.
It's pretty special when you live to be 92 and you get to have your grandkids. A little bit more? Susie might be the favorite, but she's the shortest. So I was just saying it's amazing when you can speak on behalf of the grandkids, and this is how old the grandkids are. You get to build incredibly long-lasting relationships with your grandfather. I'll stay on script. I was told to stay on script. So unfortunately, I just did this at my Grandpa Marvin's funeral last month. And as I thought about what I wanted to share today, I couldn't help but remind myself of the same things, something we've always known, but a lot of these memories shook loose this week. My sisters and I have the most incredible memories with both of our grandfathers, but they were just so strikingly different. Not better or worse, just very different. When I spoke about Grandpa Marvin, I talked about the quiet strength, how it wasn't about the big dramatic moments, but the little things, the small, steady ways that he continuously showed up. Well, anyone who knew our Grandpa Sonny knows. He was always there too. Every game, each recital, all the stuff. But he was absolutely not quiet. He was announcing his presence with authority. This man was not sneaking up on anybody. It's tough to slip in unnoticed when you pull into the parking lot in a bright yellow convertible Porsche. But Grandpa Sonny was so charming, so charismatic, so sensitive, just really fun. But it wasn't about putting on a show or keeping people entertained. It was quite the opposite. It was really about pulling people together and bringing them in. I actually used to dread going out to dinner with him because what should have been a quick 5-minute ordering process would turn into an absolute production. First, he'd get the entire family history and dating status of our server. Then, without fail, the server would say something like, "Oh, you're the football player. Oh, you're the musician." It happened to all of us. He never introduced us to anyone who didn't already know absolutely everything about us. So he even brought his fishing guide to see me play baseball in Kentucky. So many of my best family memories trace back to Grandma and Grandpa. We're so grateful for all the experiences we never would have had without them. Every vacation was spent at their home in Florida or skiing in Steamboat. He taught me how to fly fish when I was 10 years old. There's not many Jewish boys from the North Shore who know how to put on a dry fly before puberty, but I was one of those guys. So over the past few days, I've struggled to describe the depth of our relationship. Here's the thing. He clearly wasn't a father figure to us. We're all very lucky to be raised by amazing dads. But it wasn't just Grandpa. There was so much more. I can honestly say that a lot of my personality, who I am, a lot of us overlap with who Grandpa Sonny was. When Joey was little, he used to drive Grandpa insane. And it was funny, but it was insane. And you could see it all over Joey's face, that he was about to do something real dumb. And no matter what you did to try to stop it, you could set your watch to it, Joey was going to do the dumb thing. And eventually, Grandpa and Joey made a little inside joke out of it. Grandpa would ask him, "What's the one thing you need to do?" And Joey would say, "Think." It didn't help him much when he was 4, but Molly says it's really helpful now. And Jamie said it perfectly last night. We'll always treasure Grandpa's sense of humor, especially the way his big grin appeared even before he spoke a single word. You knew a joke was coming and that laughter would soon follow. He also never told a joke that he didn't laugh at himself, something he imparted on Susie. The memories about Grandpa go on and on. Honorable mention, sitting while he does the crossword puzzle, rides on his boat and going fishing, going out on ATVs, watching Cubs game, Joey and I dropping his brand new knife in the ocean seconds after he told us to be very careful. Tony and I will never forget the time Grandpa yelled at my dad for almost killing his best friend. It's a 3-year-old teacup poodle named Yogi. My dad accidentally sat on him, and you'd have thought you had a gun to his temple, the way that he reacted. To wrap things up, I just want to share one final story. Grandpa was also the best advisor, not just for the 3 of you, but also for all of us. If you had a problem, he always had an answer, or at least he was willing to listen, but really listen, right? Give you his entire focus. And the way that he'd look at you, you knew nothing else mattered. Somehow, he always knew just what to say. So when I wanted to ask Chris to marry me, I went to Grandpa for advice, which seems silly now because we've been married for nearly 10 years. We have 2 kids and another one on the way. And he used to tell Joey and I how he outkicked our coverage constantly with Molly and Chris. But I wanted his advice. It was a big step for me. She's not Jewish. I was marrying someone not Jewish. And he wasn't known as being overly religious. But I was curious how he felt with his firstborn grandson marrying someone outside of the faith. And his response to something I'll never forget, something that I shared with others when they ask us how we're raising our kids, and something I want to thank him for today. He said, "Jonathan, this is just the best news. Your Grandma Diane and I love Chris more than anything. We've been hoping and waiting for this day. And you should know that even though I've never been overly religious, I've always been fiercely Jewish. Just remember who you are, where you come from, and you two will have the most amazing life together and the most beautiful kids." And that was Grandpa. It was big laughs, his big presence, big heart, always there, always guiding, always teaching, sometimes with humor, sometimes with a loud voice, but always with a lot of love. So we love you, Grandpa, and we'll carry you forever with us. And then Andy wants to say something too.
Oh, God, okay. Okay, do I do this like this?
It's confusing.
What? Okay.
You're good.
Just a little quick something. My grandpa was my favorite person in the world. From the moment I was born, I knew, and he made sure I knew, that I was deeply, unconditionally loved. In his eyes, I could do no wrong. He told me I was the most beautiful girl in the world, and he meant it. That kind of love stays with you forever. Grandpa gave me my love for Colorado and the mountains. Some of my happiest memories are tied to that gift. The air, the views, the feeling of freedom he taught me to treasure. So when I decided to move to the mountains, even when everyone else thought I was crazy, Grandpa understood. He didn't just understand, he celebrated it. He wanted to hear the details of my life there. He wanted to know how the girls were skiing, what the snow was like, what my adventures were that we were having. He was genuinely interested in everything because that's who he was. Endlessly supportive, endlessly curious, and endlessly loving. That connection I felt with him was so deep that when my third daughter was born, I broke tradition. You're not supposed to name a Jewish baby after someone who's still alive, but I did. I named her Sonny, after my grandpa. I couldn't imagine her growing up, I couldn't imagine her growing up without carrying his name, his joy, and his light. And just like him, she shines. Every time I say her name, I think of Grandpa, the way he made me feel, the way he lit up a room, and the warmth that radiated from him. While I miss him every day, I'll carry him with me in the mountains, in my Sonny girl, and in the places we love together.
Our tradition teaches us that we best honor the memories of our loved ones when we bring the deeds and words, the lessons of their lives into our own. And the Talmud teaches that after we lose a parent, we should actually pay them homage as we do things and say things that they taught us, as if to say, my mother, I do this because of my mother, my teacher, my father, my teacher. I love that teaching, and I expand it to all of you. It's beyond our parents, includes our parents. As you do something in the coming days, all of you, Sonny's family, but all of you whose lives he touched, I invite you to do or say, whatever you do or say that you do because of Sonny, that makes you think of him. Say, I do this, I say this because of my father, grandfather, father-in-law, friend, or of Sonny. Honor him as you do. Our tradition teaches that we best honor our loved ones when we bring their lessons into our own lives. Among the enduring lessons of Sonny's life are think twice before you act, respect your parents, laugh a lot, don't take yourself too seriously, love your family and love them some more. Use your time well, take advantage of the time that you have, be honest. Surround yourself with people you feel good with. Live with thoughtfulness and empathy. And nice guys do not finish last. May we bring these and other lessons that we take from Sonny's life into our own. May we honor him by living his deeds and words and by attributing them to him. May his memory be a blessing. Zichrono livracha. We say together, Amen. I invite you, if you are physically able, to please rise for El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim Shochen Hamromim Hamsei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShechina Im Kedoshim Utehorim Kezohar Harakia Mazhirim את נשמת ליבל בן שמואל פלין שהלך לעולמו, ועל הרחמים יסתיריה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, בצרור החיים את נשמתו, אדוני הוא נחלתו, וינוח בשלום על משכבו, ונאמר Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in our sheltering presence to Sonny, our loved one who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let him find refuge in your eternal presence, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. I invite you to be seated for a moment. Before we receive instructions for those going to the cemetery, I have a request for Sonny's family. As you have, I'm sure there are countless stories in this room, memories, life lessons, experiences, many that Sonny's family doesn't even know. So do something in the coming days that's countercultural. Write a note, write an email. Don't text it, it'll get lost more easily. And share it with whichever member of the family you know. And I'll encourage maybe grandchildren to help to disseminate those or figure out a technological way to share it with everybody. But share those stories. It can be short, it can be long, it can be whatever it is, but that is for you a moment or a life lesson experience that is for you quintessentially Sonny, so that the generations here and the younger ones and those to come will understand and learn from your experiences. Thank you.
This does conclude the services here at the chapel. Shiva will be held today from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Lakeshore Country Club. And memorial contributions can be made to the Jewish United Fund or a charity of your choice. That information can be found on the second page of your service folder or as well online for everyone on live stream. The services will be continuing today at Rose Hill Cemetery, located at 5800 North Ravenswood Avenue in Chicago. The procession will be forming outside in our parking lot. Please keep in mind a few safety features while driving in procession. Please keep your bright headlights and hazard lights on at all times. Attach a funeral sticker to the passenger side of your front windshield. For an additional measure of safety, we will be placing an orange safety flag on the top of the cars gathering in the procession. Please stay as close as safety permits to the vehicle in front of you, and feel free to use your horn liberally while going through all intersections. The following people have been selected to serve as pallbearers. Please stand next to the casket as I call your name. Jonathan and Christine Fixler, Andy and Seth Frankenthal, Danielle Fixler, Joey and Molly Shapiro, Tony Shapiro, Jamie Miller, and Ross Miller. Please rise as we escort the casket of Mr. Lowell Fixler from the chapel.